Are people hunting the caribou differently today than they used to hunt the caribou in the past? It has changed a lot, now that we don't have dogs. When we hunt the caribou, we look only for the fat caribou and the good caribou, and that makes hunting very different. When we lived on the land, we ate more caribou, but now that we are living in houses, we just want nothing but good food and fresh food, and I think that is a very big change. Do you think that we killed more caribou when we had dogs than we do today? We used to try to keep a food supply for both the dogs and ourselves, so we tried to kill any kind of animal there was. We had to catch a lot of caribou because the dogs had to eat, and caribou was the only source of food. There were no white people here then. Can you remember how useful the caribou was in the older days? As I remember, it was very useful. In fact, when I was a child, I thought that I lived on caribou alone, but I wasn't very smart then. Well, when you learned how to hunt, did you try to live only on caribou? No, we didn't live on caribou itself. We had other Inuit food, such as fish, caribou, seal. I remember we didn't live just on caribou meat itself. How useful was caribou then? It was very useful. We used it for food, clothing, sinew. We made rope. It was all useful. All the meat was edible. We ate the feet, meat, the bones, and so on. What about the skins? Did the Inuit make use of the skins too? You mean caribou skins? We used them for everything. We used them for clothing, for kayak hides, for everything. What about with the fur removed? Then we used them for kayaks. We also used them for kamiks, for backpacks and bowl bags. Oh yes, they were very useful. What time of year did they hunt the caribou? Did they hunt the caribou in the summer so that they could use it for their food supply in the winter? Yes, they caught most of the caribou in the summer. They would keep trying to catch more and more caribou. They would keep eating fresh caribou meat, and at the same time they were trying to keep a good food supply for the winter. Did wolves kill a lot of caribou in the past? Yes, they used to be terrible. In fact, when we went hunting, sometimes we'd come to a herd, but the wolves would scare them off. They were a very big nuisance. Did the wolves also eat the caribou in the camps? Yes, they did. Except if the caribou were cached, the wolves and the foxes couldn't get into them. Only the wolverines could do that. The wolves couldn't get into the caribou if it was cached. What about the sounds the wolves make? Did that scare off the caribou? Both the wolves and the dogs would scare the caribou off if there wasn't very many caribou around. Sometimes you would go hunting and the dogs would scare the caribou off, and the wolves did the same thing. What about other noises, like maybe snowmobile noises? Does that scare the herd away and make it move away from this area? If there is a big herd, it won't move very far or very fast from noise. But if there are only a few caribou around, then they tend to scare very easily. In fact, now when we go hunting, we don't see a lot of caribou because they have been scared off. But a big herd won't scare off as much as a smaller herd. When we go hunting, sometimes we just see tracks of caribou that were scared and ran away. Do you think that mining has a lot to do with the change of the migratory routes of the caribou herds? Again, if there are a lot of caribou, they are not as aware of the noise around them. Sometimes it may look as if the caribou are not being disturbed, but actually they are slowly moving away from the area because of the disturbance around them. So I think that if there is a small herd, it's not very good. But if there is a large herd, it won't really bother them. Every year, the caribou are very close to the communities, and the Inuit are not trying to hunt carelessly. We still try to catch caribou to last us a year, and maybe because of this, they think we are killing a lot of caribou. But now we catch a lot less than before. Sometimes we only catch 5 caribou, or we won't catch enough to last a year, and they think that this is a lot. Which would you tend to believe, biologists or Inuit people? One side is saying that the herd is decreasing, and the other side is saying that the herd is not decreasing. The Inuit people have been with the caribou all their lives. Sometimes if the caribou is unable to find the rest of the herd, it just sort of wanders off, and I think this is why they think it is decreasing. The animals are moving away. If there is a mining camp inland, this would force the caribou herd to move towards the shore, and from the shore they will move somewhere else. I think that this is why some people think that the herd is decreasing. So what do you think is that the mining industries and exploration camps are spreading the caribou herds apart and dividing them throughout the north? Yes, I think so. I think that they are decreasing the big herd slowly, whether it may be airplanes or helicopters or other noises inland during the summer. Caribou are not always in one big herd. Sometimes they are more spread out, although they seem to come from the one herd. I think that some just move away from here, and that's probably why they think it's decreasing. I think that they are going further north.